Hello my friends, my name's Bella. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to your new favorite place on the internet. Fingers crossed, hopefully. My name's Bella and I love to read and watch anime and K-dramas. And today I really just want to sit down and talk to you guys about all of the books that I am planning, hoping, praying, dreaming that I get to read in the month of June. My reading game in the month of May, it wasn't my strongest. You know, I'm not the most proud of that month because I did do a lot of anime watching. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I think like a month or two ago, I think it was actually April 1st, I started watching One Piece. I'm only 167 episodes in. Like, I don't even know the whole story, and people have been telling me over and over again, like, if you think this is good, you have no idea what's in store for you, and I'm just really excited. But basically, okay, this is not an anime wrap up. For that, I did do a video on my Patreon if you're interested. Yeah, in the month of May, I just really focused on watching anime and K-dramas, and I didn't really prioritize reading. But in the month of June, I don't want to be that way anymore. I want to change. I want to go through a character development. Just looking at this TBR, I know it's ambitious. You don't have to tell me. But I feel like by talking about these books with you guys, it kind of forces me in a good way. Okay, let's not use the word force. Let's change the narrative. It motivates me to actually pick these books up and talk to you guys about them. So I thought, hey, let's just talk about the books that I'm really excited to read lately. I am mostly a mood reader, but from time to time, I can follow a TBR. So I don't even know how many books I'm planning to read. I guess we'll find out as I'm talking to you guys about them. But yeah, these are all the books and then some that I want to try and read in the month of June. So let's go through them one by one. The first project, because this is no longer a book. This is like a literal challenge. This is my next War and Peace. It's not as long as War and Peace, but you know, the struggle and the commitment that I've made to this book is almost on par with War and Peace. And that book is Cien Años de Soledad, written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, or in its English title, 100 Years of Solitude. I do have both the English and the Spanish version, but because I am Dominican and Spanish is my mother tongue, I have been reading it in Spanish, and honestly, it's been such a challenge. I don't even remember when I started this, but it's been a while. In the month of May, I basically read nothing of Cien Años de Soledad. I was just deeply intimidated by this book, and every time that I looked at it, I just felt like I couldn't do it. And that's mainly the reason that I wasn't that motivated to read in the month of May, because I knew that this was in my currently reading and I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the stress. But enough is enough. June will be the month that I finish Cien Años de Soledad. I was doing some reading sprints with my simpers yesterday on my YouTube, and I actually read a little over 100 pages. So the motivation is there. I just need to keep on pushing. And I believe that with a little bit more motivation and just believing in myself, I think I can finish this finally in the month of June. I am currently on page 268, and this has a total of 470 pages. So I'm basically missing 202 pages to finish this. I will reserve my opinions for when I actually finish this book, but overall, it's been an interesting journey. It's definitely, you know, yeah, I'm just gonna keep my opinions until I fully finish this book and I fully experience the whole narrative. And yes, this is the first book that I want to read in the month of June. Wish me luck, please. I really need it. Another book that's been on my currently reading list for quite some time now, and for some reason it's been a long while since I last picked it up, but I think that June is the month where I'm just going to finish everything that I've started. My mind already has way too many channels open, and I need to start closing some of them before I go clinically insane. So yeah, the next book that I really hope to finish in the month of June is the collected works of Khalil Gibran. I think I started this in March, and I have read quite a few. I'm literally halfway through. Why have I not finished this? I can't believe it. I think just because the stories that I am currently reading, they haven't been hitting the same as the first few ones that I read. So, you know, my reading speed definitely slowed down. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying it. I haven't been paying too much attention to this book for a while now, but I'm hoping to change that in June. So as you can see, I have a lot of goals, and a lot of them require me to keep a positive mind, an open mind. So yeah, this is the second book that I want to finish in the month of June. Fingers crossed I do. The next book that I want to read, I am actually extremely excited for, because it's this book that's been taking TikTok by storm. And I'm not even on TikTok, but so many people that I know have been reading this book and loving this book and talking about this book that I was like, okay, I must read it, especially since it's my Patreon book of the month. So like, I need to do a reading vlog for this. I need to talk about it with my Patreons. It's this whole thing. And that book is Fourth Wing. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about this book. I just know it's a fantasy, I think new adult or young adult, and it has dragons. I think there's this academy and people are just killing each other, and it's very high stakes, very action-packed. I think there's romance involved somewhere over there, hopefully not with the dragons. Yeah, so as you can see, don't know much about this book, but I am very excited because people that I trust have given this a high rating. They do tell me to go into it with very low expectations and to just not take things very seriously. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm just going to go into this book looking for a good time, looking for a fun time, not necessarily a deep and insightful analysis into dragons and their impact on society, but more like, you know, let's just have some fun. Let's ride some dragons, let's kill some people. Hooray, you know what I mean? The next book that I want to read, I'm excited for all of these. Honestly, I don't know why I keep saying that I'm excited, because yeah, I'm excited for all of these books, but this one, I'm just like a tiny bit more excited than the rest, because this is an author that I have been very curious about. I have read 2 of his works before. One was a stellar read. The other, kind of wish that I would have bleached my eyes out before having to read that book. And that author is Fyodor Dostoevsky. And recently I got a new book by him, which so many people have recommended to me. It's kind of scary how many people recommended it to me, and they're convinced that I'm going to love it. I trust maybe like 90% of my subscribers, and if so many of you are saying that I'm going to love this book, then I'm sort of inclined to believe you. And that book is Notes from the Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and this edition also includes The Double, which apparently The Double is this story where this guy meets his doppelganger, and I think they end up like trying to kill each other, like only one can survive, that sort of vibe. Oh, okay. A government clerk encounters a man who looks exactly like him, his double perhaps, or possibly the darker side of his own personality. That's giving Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I love Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, so hey, I'm all for a split personality type of narrative, so color me excited, color me intrigued, color me fascinated, color me anything you want. I'm just excited to read this, and hopefully I will. It's not that long. It has less than 300 pages, 282 pages, so this is doable. I already know sort of how Dostoevsky likes to write his novels and the perspective that he likes to take on certain subjects, so I feel like it's not going to be as hard as the Brothers Karamazov, which I will remain silent. The next book that I want to read is actually a poetry collection, and I have seen so many booktubers recommending this one, and just people on Instagram sharing little quotes or little phrases or like a literal whole page of this book, and it just sounds, or it just looks like something that I would really connect to, and that I would find a lot of inspirational and insightful quotes or poems, and that is Mary Oliver's Devotions. This is probably familiar to you because I have seen, I don't know if we see the same kind of booktubers, but I feel like I've seen a lot of people talk about Mary Oliver, maybe not specifically Devotions, but definitely just like Mary Oliver in general. And this is my very first Mary Oliver. Look at how floppy it is. I can't get over it. Like, this is crazy floppy. The flopometer is going insane. I love it so much. I love it. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I want to read a random poem that I flipped to just because I kind of want to get a sense of what I'm getting into. So let's do this one that's called Spring. Somewhere a black bear has just risen from sleep and is staring down the mountain. All night, in the brisk and shallow restlessness of early spring, I think of her 4 black fists flicking the gravel, her tongue, gravel. This is the first time I've had to say that word out loud. Anyways, her tongue like a red fire, touching the grass, the cold water. There is only one question: how to love this world. Whatever else my life is, with its poems and its music and its glass cities, it is also this dazzling darkness coming down the mountain, breathing and tasting. All day I think of her white teeth, her worldlessness, her perfect love. So that was Mary Oliver's Devotions. That was kind of a slay, if I do say so myself. So the next book that I want to read in the month of June is a hefty boy. It has almost 500 pages, and I think it's a high fantasy or just like fantasy book. I think it also has romance. I could be very wrong about this. This is the first book in a new series. I've heard so many people talking about this series in my server specifically, and there's this one person that's called Bethany. Bethany, if you're watching, she has taken it upon herself to send a copy of this book to whoever wants it, or like to whoever is maybe showing interest in reading this book. She's like, okay, I got you covered, babes. Check the mail in a few days. And she actually sent me a copy of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, written by Carissa Broadbent. The Nightborn Duet, book 1. Let's read together what this is about, because honestly, I haven't heard that much. I've just heard people fangirling over it, but like, what is it truly about? Let's find out together. Human or vampire, the rules of survival are the same. Never trust, never yield, and always, always guard your heart. Ooh, there's a tournament held by the goddess of death herself. But winning won't be easy against the most vicious warriors from all 3 vampire houses. To survive, Oriah is forced to make an alliance with a mysterious rival. Okay. He is a ruthless vampire, an efficient killer, an enemy to her father's crown, and her greatest competition. Yet what terrifies Oriah most of all is that she finds herself oddly drawn to him. Oh my goodness. Okay, I can see why people would fangirl about this, because I'm fangirling and I haven't even read the first page of this.
The flavor, oh my god, it's so real. Like,
I kind of, ooh, we have a map. Hello. I will be honest, I kind of want to stop filming right this second and just sit down and start this book. Oh, we have different parts. Wait, hold up. Okay, it's divided into parts as well. I love a book that's organized. You know what I mean? Like, I love sections. I love parts. It's giving, and I haven't even started it. It's also pretty floppy, you know, for my floppy babes out there, I think you'd be happy with this one. But anyways, I am really excited. Like, I was excited when I included this in my TBR, but now that I read the back and now that I like got a taste of what this story has in store for us, I'm literally 10 times more excited to start this book. I think this may be like the book that I start today. The next book that I want to read in the month of June, I don't actually own physically, unfortunately, but I do have it on my Kindle, and that is Heaven Official's Blessing, Volume 3. Can we just take a second to appreciate the cover, because oh my god, like, this is beauty, this is grace, this should be hung up on a museum or something. Like, I'm just obsessed. Quite honestly, very candidly obsessed with this, Your Honor, and I am also obsessed with the story itself. I feel like I've talked of Heaven Official's Blessing in my past 3 videos, and honestly, I'm not mad about that because it's become my newest obsession. I really just love these characters. I love the banter, I love the sexual tension, I love the fantastical elements. It's basically the story of this crown prince who gets ascended into a god, but he's kind of like, he's a joke to everybody because things happen, and basically because of certain things that go down in the story, he has to get rid of demons and get rid of ghosts that have been haunting different places on Earth. And while he's on one of these missions, he meets a mysterious man who becomes his bro. Yes, they are bros. They are chilling in a hot tub, 0 feet apart, because they are gay. Yes, this is a BL fantasy romance. I'm in volume 3. Like, what else do you want me to tell you? I can't really speak much about it because, like, yeah, I'm just enjoying my life enjoying reading this story and having such a fun time. So I definitely want to keep reading more of this series. In terms of manga, I think I want to focus on reading Yona of the Dawn. The last volume that I read was volume 30, and I don't know why, like that volume was so good and I was so excited to continue. But I think that because I'm reading it through the library and I have to like wait for other people to finish with the volume before I can get it myself, I guess I just got tired of waiting and then never checked if it was ready for me to borrow. So like I forgot about it, kind of low-key, and I just focused on other books. And it's been a hot second since I've read a Yona of the Dawn novel or like volume. So for this month, I also want to try and read maybe like 5 or 6 volumes of Yona of the Dawn. I think there are currently 39 volumes out. I don't want to be up to date because waiting is excruciating. I don't even know how many volumes this series is going to have in total, but I just know I want to be back in this world, whether it be with 3 volumes or 5 volumes, or maybe I'll even read the 9 volumes that I have left. I don't know, okay? Don't ask me questions that I don't have the answers to. I don't control this, okay? My brain does, and I don't control my brain. Contrary to popular belief, I actually do not control my brain. So thank you for being so understanding. I really appreciate that. If you've never heard of Yona of the Dawn, first of all, where have you been? Oh my goodness, like I'm so sorry that you've had to live your life up to this point without hearing about Yona of the Dawn. And second of all, let me have the absolute honor of introducing you to such an incredible story of this girl who's a princess and her whole life gets turned around when rebels invade the castle. Her whole life she's grown up having everything that she's ever needed, maybe even having more than she needed, and she's always been loved. She's never really known war. But suddenly all of this changes when people attack her castle and suddenly she has to live on the run. She has to fight for her life. She needs to learn how to fight. She needs to learn how to stand up for herself. And it's such an incredible story of self-discovery, coming of age, going through these dark and terrible times and coming out even stronger than you were before. And of course, we have some incredible characters, incredible character development. We have dragons involved, which is always a good time. And of course, the romance. Like, do I even need to speak about the romance? You know what I mean? It's just, mwah. It's just yes. Yeah, so Yona of the Dawn, if you haven't given yourself the pleasure of starting this series, do it now. Do it now. So far, all of the books on my TBR haven't been that summery, but June is pretty much summer, so I thought that I couldn't let my TBR come to an end without including at least one summery read. And I've always wanted to reread this book because when I first read it, I read it as an ebook, so I never got the pleasure of annotating it. And I literally binged that book in one sitting. I literally could not put it down. It was so good. It was revolutionary, actually. And I finally have a physical copy that I can annotate. And now that we're in summer, it's the perfect time to reread Beach Read by Emily Henry. I recently read her newest book, Happy Place, and you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of that, but I am still such a huge fan of Emily Henry, and Book Lovers still remains one of my favorite books of 2022. Did I read that in 2022? Yes, I did. It still remains one of my favorite books of 2022, and I just want to be back in the Emily Henry world. I want to cleanse my palate of Happy Place, and I know that I loved Beach Read. I know that there are so many moments that had me squealing and screaming and crying, and there are definitely going to be moments that I'm going to relate to Taylor Swift songs, so I cannot wait for all of the good times while I reread Beach Read. If you've never heard of Beach Read, now is literally the perfect time to read this because this has such incredible summer vibes, and our two main characters are polar opposites, and I love that trope when they're like just so different, but somehow they find things in common and they find this common ground where they can start to understand each other and they start to fall in love with each other, even though they have all of these differences that separated them in the beginning. Both of these characters are authors, but I think Gus is his name, Augustus or something. I'm gonna call him Gus. He is an author of literary fiction, while our main character, what's her name? January, yes, she is an author of romance novels. So they have very opposing ideals. I think for the summer, they both go to their beach houses to just kind of like retreat into themselves and write their next book. But for some reason or other, they end up interacting a lot and they decide to make a bet. So now Gus is going to write a romance novel and January is going to write a literary fiction. It's like they're kind of putting themselves in each other's shoes, and I don't know. There's just something about the angst, there's something about the sexual tension between these characters, but most importantly, there's just something about the character development and how their relationship naturally blossoms. I am so excited to see if the idea or like the memory that I have of this book lives up to the reality. Like, I really hope my brain didn't do me dirty and sort of like romanticized and made it better than it actually is. I don't think that's the case, but hey, you can never be too sure. I'm really excited to reread this in the month of June. This is just going to be such a good month. I can already feel it. It's just like, I've surrounded myself by books that I've been dying to read, that I just know I am really going to enjoy, or at least I'm going to enjoy talking to you guys about them. And I'm really happy with my TBR. This is an overview of all of the books that I am hopefully going to be reading in the month of June. Let me know what you guys are going to be reading this month. Are there any books that you are especially excited to get your hands on? Do you have any high hopes for the month of June? Are you hoping to find your new favorite read? Let me know all about it in the comments below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps my channel out and it helps me keep doing what I love to do, which is make these videos for you guys. I also have a Patreon where I post exclusive content. I host reading sprints, readathons, and a monthly book club. So if that is something that would be interesting to you, the link is down below. As always, I would love to have you join my army of premium simpers. Once again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so very much. I hope you're having a fantastic June or a fantastic day whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.
Hey Jimmy, you nice. Keep going.